Surfing is largely viewed as a relaxed culture. The sport is in large viewed as a non-competitive adventure activity, but many see surfing as more than just a sport. To many, surfing represents an opportunity to harness the waves, to relax, to find harmony with nature and the ocean, and to forget about their daily routines. As such, we would expect the sport and its members to display inclusive behavior that is welcoming to surfers of all background and experience, and many within the surfing community would claim that they do so. However, as surfing has gained more popularity as a sport rather than a way of life in recent years, many believe the theme of this idea has shifted. Territorialism often arises from locals who feel that their surfing spots are encroached by tourists who do not epitomize the surfing lifestyle or are simply not from a specific community. This then manifests into localism, which can result in local surfers verbally or physically threatening outsiders and beginners to deter them from surfing at certain spots. As a heavily ingrained activity in Australian culture, Mark and I wanted to test the validity of this cultural shift within surfing, see how it extends to the local community as a whole, and, if these claims prove true, we want to retrospectively analyze why this has occurred. So with this in mind, we decided to travel to Maroubra Beach, a listed national surfing reserve in the eastern suburbs of Sydney, infamous for localism and other chronicled violence instigated by surfing gangs, to conduct a field study.
So good morning, Kevin.
Good morning, education class. What's up?
Where are we headed?
We are headed to Maroubra Beach this morning to go surfing, I guess. Mark, being an experienced surfer, has kindly agreed to teach me some of the ways of the surf lifestyle, and no better place to learn than Australia, Maroubra. So here we are.
So, as you can see, it's quite hard to get to Maroubra. There's no straight train line that takes you there. We're waiting for a bus. Oh, there it is. There it is. So, Kevin, what do you know so far in the surfing expertise world?
I know there's something like called the chicken wing, and like you can stand up using that, but that's about it. And that board was like a few feet longer than this one, so it'll be an experience for sure.
So Kev, how does this compare to getting to Coogee or Bondi?
So I'd say the main difference so far is, you hop on the rail, you're at Bondi, Coogee, 30 minutes time. Here you gotta go to Central, you gotta catch a connection there, you gotta wait for the bus, which can take, we waited for like 30 minutes, and then you gotta take the 45-minute drive out here on the bus. So, I feel like that's a large contributor to why you're not seeing a lot of tourists coming out here. It's more of just locals. So, Mark, do you notice anything different about this bus?
Yeah, it started off as a very full bus, and as you can see at this point, as we approach Maroubra Beach, it is quite empty. So where are we, Kev?
We are in Maroubra right now. Yeah, we're just arrived via bus. Nice, relaxing bus ride. Very casual. A lot of families around. You can tell this is a very residential area. A lot of surfers on the way in, and on a Thursday morning too, which is really surprising.
And what else can we see here? I've noticed that we have a lot of life-saving clubs.
Yep.
A lot of local community if we walk over here. But we see over here that it's a highly community-based area, wouldn't you say, Kev? We got a playground over here. Let's go check it out.
Doesn't really give off the that vibe that, like, the rough and tumble surfer culture. It seems like a very nice area, actually.
But then once you get in the water,
maybe, yeah, that's a different story. But time will tell with that, right, Mark?
Yeah.
But no, not once I get in the water, because you're going to teach me how to surf.
We have a nice family playground. We got lots of families hanging out. We have a gym. Holy sh**. There are a lot of surfers out. Though it may be hard to see, there are... How many surfers would you say there are out, Kevin?
Whole lot of beach, whole lot of surfers, that's for sure.
Kev is learning how to do his first surf change.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever actually worn a wetsuit before.
So this is the documented tales of a beginner surfing at Maroubra.
So far, no no locals have approached me. I think I blended in pretty well. Put my foot in the armhole.
There you go. And the towel didn't drop. I'd call that a success.
Look at that. First time. Good teacher.
Like walking on the moon was such a good feeling. Lying in bed and I'm staring at the ceiling. And wake up on Monday morning.
5 minutes in of paddling out, I think a lifeguard comes up, kicks me out immediately. He's like, "You're not experienced enough to be here, get out of the water." And, you know, true with the Maroubra stereotype. Wasn't in the kindest of words, but I'll just leave it there.
So actually the same guy, after Kevin got booted out, came up to me after I paddled into the right and kept telling me I was in the wrong place even though I was right next to all the other surfers. Kind of chewed me out, picked me out, and then proceeded to go even further where he told me not to be so he could catch his own waves. And then came over, yelled at me again. So now me and Kevin are out of the water.
They take it pretty seriously out here, and a lot of good people, but for every good person, sometimes you run into those people that take it a bit seriously. You know, buzzkills, I think is the word for it.
Be in the water.
We weren't even in the water 5 minutes, and he just came up and kicked us out. I mean, like, at the end of the day, you gotta appreciate what these guys are doing and that they're just doing their job, but, like, the paradox is, like, how are you supposed to get better at surfing if there's no community?
We want to get that board right at the back, and we want you nowhere near this flagged area. You've got the entire beach. So paddle 50 metres north. Stay there at all times. The flag is the swimmers only. So that board rider, keep paddling north. You at the back looking at me, just keep paddling north, mate.
They're just doing their jobs, I get that.
No,
I don't know. But
that
like,
guy was a lot nicer than the other guy.
yeah. Well, I mean, like, point is, how do you get better at surfing if you're not in an environment where, like, people want to teach you and they don't want beginners there? It's sort of the catch-22 of the whole thing. No.
Yeah, I guess we could say that definitely this is not the beach for beginners.
Definitely
Maroubra. Sorry.
Glad I got to come here and, like, see this and see what, like, true surfer culture is like, but if you're trying to learn how to surf, stick to Bondi, stick to one of the beginner beaches. Smaller waves too, for sure. There were many great takeaways from our field study to Maroubra Beach, and we were able to extrapolate many conclusions based off of our findings. From a cultural perspective, we found that, as a whole, the suburb of Maroubra is a very young, urban, family-friendly town. Many playgrounds, yoga studios, and activity-based centers could be found there that really promote a true community involvement theme. However, from our field study to Maroubra Beach, we also took away another very important idea. That being that as soon as you get off the land and into the water, the mentality really shifts. The family-friendly atmosphere that you see around you in the town really dissipates into a subculture of territorialism and localism when you start to hit the waves. And me and Mark experienced this firsthand, I from the perspective of being an inexperienced surfer, and Mark, even though he really knows how to surf, wasn't welcome just because he wasn't a local. Overall, in the video we allude to many aspects that contribute to why you don't see many tourists surfing at Maroubra Beach. Among these, we cite the fact that it's pretty difficult to access Maroubra. It involves a lot of transit, and if you're not familiar with the area, say you're a tourist, you may not know how to access the area as opposed to one of the simpler beaches like Coogee or Bondi. Furthermore, we really harped in our field study on the fact that there was a sense that we didn't belong, and that may be another reason that you see tourists don't visit it. It has a reputation, maybe a stereotype, but that stereotype is upheld as we experience firsthand. There is a silver lining here, however. As we've mentioned, the community as a whole seems very friendly and welcoming. So while you may have a subculture that's very inclusive, it really doesn't extend on the whole to the community, which is a nice thing to see at the end of the day.